This really is my first full day of just discovering the city. So what I'm going to be doing today is going to the Oskar Schindler Enamel factory, which is for, say, 11:30. Also, I booked a walking tour. So right now I'm staying in the Kazimierz District, which is the Jewish district here in Krakow. So I'm staying at a hotel called M29. Yeah, so that's a very lovely hotel. You can check it out on booking.com. So my impressions of Krakow is very, very lovely. I love it here. It's a very lovely place to travel to. In fact, it's the most visited city in Poland. So I had a choice. Do I go to Warsaw or do I go to Krakow? Well, I chose Krakow, hands down. All the buildings you see here in Krakow are original buildings, as far as I know. In Warsaw, the war obliterated the city, and so they had to rebuild. It has a very vibrant nightlife. Not that I've seen a lot of discotheques and partying. The city is pretty much tamed at night, just mostly tourists walking about, enjoying the city. And the city itself is not that big, not like Berlin, which I've just come from. It's not that big. So the city is very walkable. You can walk from the Kazimierz district to the very north end of Wall Castle in about 45 minutes. So 45 minutes each way. You can cover the main tourist areas of the city. But even though it's a small city, you've got what looks like a very good transportation system. So I would say that there's more things to see here than to do. So if you plan your trip, just have a look on Google as to the things you would like to see, then that way you can direct your visit here in Krakow with a bit more purpose. So where I'm headed to now is a bridge, which is the Józef Piłsudski Bridge. I'm not sure if I got that name right. All right, so just to correct myself on that one, it's the Józef Piłsudski Bridge. Now, if you've seen the film Schindler's List, then this is the very bridge that appeared in the movie. It is one of the oldest bridges in the city, spanning the Vistula River. It connects the Kazimierz and Podgórze districts of Krakow. So this bridge was built in 1933, but the retreating German armies, they decided to blow it up because they didn't want the Soviet army chasing after them. So they blew up the bridge entirely, and it was rebuilt shortly after that. The bridge you see over there is the Bernatec Bridge. It's a pedestrian footbridge that features a modern suspension system with steel cables and various figurines that create a visually striking effect, making it a popular subject for photographers and visitors. Now, although I didn't see it myself, it does actually light up at night, being adorned with vibrant coloured lights, adding a dramatic visual element to the cityscape. The bridge has also made appearances in various media, including local films and promotional materials, often highlighted for its modern design and the vibrant atmosphere it contributes to the city's riverfront. Possibly as a piano school. Now this is the first time I'm venturing out this far over the bridge. That was a serious trek. I had to really pull up the pace a bit. So I should be here by 20 past to collect my ticket from somebody outside here, according to the instructions on Get Your Guide. So let's have a look. So I've got the 11:30 slot. Right, so I'm supposed to look out for somebody with some kind of sign saying Discover Poland, Schindler's factory. So I can't see anybody holding up anything, so yeah, I think I'd better just get in line really. Perhaps there's someone inside. I'll just exchange the electronic voucher for my ticket. Okay, so while I was in the queue, I got a text from the person who has my tickets, and they said, no, you don't have to queue, just meet me by the entrance. So that's really cool, because as I showed you, the queue is quite long. So they're running a couple of minutes late, so they apologize for that, which is really good. And yeah, the other thing I want to show you actually is this. Right, so it's got these electric carts here. Got quite a few of them. I'm not sure how much it costs, but it seems quite a good way to discover the city. Or you can go via electric scooter, which you can hire. So something else you could do here when you're in Krakow is not only the Auschwitz and Birkenau tour, but you can go to the WWII salt mine, guided tour from Krakow. So this part of the museum focuses on a lesser-known labour camp operated by the SS in Plaszow, a southern suburb of Krakow. Now, most of the prisoners sent here were Polish Jews who were targeted for destruction by Nazi Germany during the Holocaust. By 1943, the camp had become notorious for its own terrors. Amon Goth, an SS commandant from Vienna,
was the camp commandant at this point. The film Schindler's List depicts Goth's sadistic running of the Plaszow labor camp. However, after the war, Goth was tried by the Supreme National Tribunal at Krakow and found guilty of personally ordering the imprisonment, torture and extermination of individuals and groups of peoples. Goth was executed by hanging not far from the former site of the Plaszow camp.
Do make a beeline for Oskar Schindler's factory. It's not about Oskar Schindler, I must point out. There was just a little mention of him actually in one of the exhibits, but it's more about Krakow and the goings-on in and around Krakow and the German occupation, of course about the Jews and the decrease in civil liberties that they had to endure.
Alright, so right out of the Oskar Schindler factory, I'm heading back over the bridge to a booked free tour, which is due to start shortly. I'll see you there.
Exactly, I would use that word, and I think there was also some theories that like met with Franklin and Delano Roosevelt at FDR, side of a Jewish home or school or business, and usually traditionally outside of every room except for the bathroom. Familiar to you, but I don't know if you're like me. I watched Schindler's List when I was in like middle school and then did not revisit it. I highly recommend as adults and as travelers to Krakow that you go back and revisit that movie, because you're going to see so many things in it that you have witnessed yourself on this tour and on your time in Krakow. But to jog your memory, I'm going to pass around some photos here. So I will show you. The first one going around shows you this courtyard in the 1930s. Now, if you look at this photo and what you're actually seeing here, it doesn't look that different actually in terms of the architecture, which is why Spielberg uses this courtyard for the scene of the liquidation of the ghetto. Because when he went to where the ghetto actually was, where we're going to go in a moment, he realized that where the ghetto was had moved forward in time. There were new office buildings, there was a radio tower, there was all this stuff that he could not CGI out. But he came here and looked around and he said, wow, it looks exactly like it did pre-war and even during the war time. So you can see that in that photo, that it really is not much different even today than what it was then. But the next photo that's coming around, this is from the actual movie. So this shows you the scene in Schindler's List where the Nazis are coming in, they're going into these apartments, they're pushing the Jewish people out, they're throwing their luggage over the railings, and they're going to be putting them into cattle carts to deport them off to the death camps or to the labor camps like Plaszow. So the scene is the final liquidation of this ghetto when they are shutting it down.
Now the tour also took us to this area called Plac Zgody. During the liquidation of the Krakow ghetto in March 1943, clothes and personal belongings of the deportees, as well as furniture from nearby houses, were dumped onto the square in heaps. In 1948, the square was renamed Ghetto Heroes Square. But it was in 2005 the area was historically renovated. 70 metal chairs, known as Krakow Chairs, were installed within the open space as the Krakow Ghetto Memorial, symbolizing the horrors of the ghetto, deportation, massacre and liquidation. Now nearby is one of the two remaining stretches of the Ghetto Wall. This 12-meter stretch backs up onto an old ghetto house with a commemorative plaque in both Hebrew and Polish. The Nazis deliberately formed the walls to resemble Jewish tombstones, a visual reminder of the fate that eventually awaited them. The Krakow ghetto was a closed ghetto meaning it was guarded and anyone who left needed authorized paperwork in order to do so. Life in the ghetto was bleak and Jewish cultural practices were hard to keep alive. Music, however, played a large part in the ghetto as a way of keeping spirits up. Moving from the historical Krakow to the more modern and happier Krakow, we find ourselves on the main street which leads down to Wall Castle. This huge 10-acre square is the main hubbub of the city. It is by far the largest in any of Europe's medieval cities. As you can see here, the square is sometimes used for peaceful demonstrations, festivals and concerts. It is also popular for street performers too. The square also features this 16th century Renaissance building called Cloth Hall. The name Cloth Hall comes, of course, from cloth, one of the most common goods sold here during the Middle Ages and later. Nowadays, the Cloth Hall can be roughly divided into 3 parts: the ground floor, the upper floor and the underground. The ground floor, as you can see, is full of stalls selling mainly souvenirs and other goods bought by tourists. The first floor houses an art gallery displaying 19th century Polish paintings, including the works of Jan Matejko. The lower level contains a famous museum, section of the Krakow Historic Museum, popularly called the Market Square Underground. Alright, so I am rapidly coming to the end of my brief but fascinating tour of Krakow. Next, I travel on through Slovakia to Budapest in Hungary. Please do hit the like button and consider subscribing as well, as this will really help the channel to grow. So I'll leave you with a night view of Wall Castle. Thanks for watching and I'll see you all again in the next one. Bye for now.